And you're on.
And we're on. All right. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I always like to say who I think the audience might possibly be. You would squarely fall into the segment of grinders. You are people out there getting your business going. You're leading. You're entrepreneurs. You are maybe possibly marketing directors and business folk. You might be in a C-suite. You might not even have a title, but you're just looking to figure out how to do business well and differently. That's who I think might be listening. If that's you, thanks for being here. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Thaddeus Romansky. He is our COO here at Fidelis Creative Agency, and I thought, man, y'all probably got tired of looking at my ugly mug, so added some friendly faces.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Tim.
Yeah, man.
And I know you're a hardworking guy, and so I think that maybe the audience might also include literal maybe meat grinders, people who
Actual meat
feed
grinders?
meat through meat grinders,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
people who grind metal
These-
literally for a living.
People who know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we do have one of those guys as a client. It's somebody who specializes in special meats.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We also have behind the camera, we have today we have Macy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Macy.
As per usual. And we have Christina.
Good morning.
Morning, Christina.
We're both singing for some reason, which is great. Good energy. Man, how you been?
Been well.
All right.
Did a lot of yard work this weekend and sat in a kiddie pool. Not a pool with kitties in it, but
Kittens.
a pool
That would be a
for,
The
chaos.
for
reason
children.
he says that is a meeting yesterday. We were writing we do this thing called a segue, for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, where you say what you were doing the last week, and the person writing wrote kitty with a
Kitties.
Y,
Oh.
and it made us all chuckle a
Yeah.
little bit.
That would be sheer chaos.
Yes.
Just throwing tons of cats into a small pool. Yeah. That'll go well.
So precious.
Yeah. Precious or real scratchy. That's actually pretty good little segue itself into what I wanted to talk about this morning.
Oh,
I
excellent.
spent-
We're going to talk about
look
kittens.
Look at how, yeah, kittens. That was the aim.
Okay.
How do you know? I always go there.
Well, I mean, it's YouTube cat videos.
Cat video. That's true. That would play. I hung out this whole last weekend with some folks from Colombia and some folks from San Salvador, Salvadorians. And these were guys that got hired by a foreman to come and help me fell some trees. And these dudes were awesome. Like, amazing guys. I don't know. I don't want to like overgeneralize whole countries. I don't want to be like that. But, man, refreshing. It was like actually refreshing to hang out with these guys for 3 days, and we prayed every morning before work.
Mm-hmm.
We ate lunch and dinner together, and we made inside jokes. I'm now part of an inside joke,
Aw.
which is pretty great. They started calling the youngest guy on the thing. Their English isn't awesome, but he was kind of a bigger guy, and they kept calling him sexy fat, which was hilarious. But I don't know. It's good times to hang out with people who are joyful.
Now,
and
did these
love what
guys
they do.
all know each other already, or did they kind of bond over the work with you? And is that something that y'all shared in common? Was the work bonding you all together?
That's a great question. And it's funny because you go into these situations and you have nothing but questions. Like, how did you get here? I don't know. Maybe some people don't do this, but I want to know everything. So I'm asking, are you married? How many kids do you have? Where are you from? Why are you here in Bryan, Texas? Like, this is kind of an obscure little place in the world, and here are some common I want to tell you some like commonalities amongst all these guys. They were very direct and skeptical. What's the right word? Skeptical? That's yeah. Of
It
my.
sounds like that's the word you're going for.
That's what I was going for. Of my own salvation status. Like, first question they had for me was, you know Jesus? And I was like really put on the spot. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Okay. And we were able to move on with the day. And then also the other commonality was they're all extremely Republican. Like through and through, they were like, go Trump all over the place. It was kind of wild, which I don't know if you're following news and you're looking at like, Biden opened the border and he's trying to get some sort of a Democratic vote or whatever. But that thought line, I'm not sure that that's a solid thought line. Because these guys are all voting Republican if they're going to vote.
Right. That's an
know.
entire another
that's another conversation.
bag of kittens.
A whole another kitty full of kittens.
Yeah.
But on
Yeah.
his theme. Kittens.
I don't know. I'm just kind of going on about this, but
You talked to me a little bit about it off air, and you also your families bonded together. You said
Absolutely.
you said you ate. Some
Yeah.
of their wives came over and were cooking.
we
right?
were trading foods.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had I don't know what it's called, but it was like a flatbread that she had stuffed with like meat and beans and fried the thing. It was amazing.
Papitas, I think.
Yeah.
That's a papita.
You know about this?
Oh, yeah. Papitas.
Papitas. That's
Not
right.
to be confused with the green seeds that will kill me.
Oh.
Not
Or is that
No,
pumpkin
I think
seeds. No.
they're this. Don't get me confused, guys.
Because those green little seeds are called pepitas as well.
Oh,
I have to look for those in many
I don't know.
ingredients lists.
it was amazing.
Was it sort of similar to an empanada in a
Yeah.
Mexican context?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But slightly different. Not as thick. It was a
Caden, it's not
flatter.
pita.
thing.
I was
Okay.
wrong.
Type in the description and see what
She
comes
made a
up.
pico
We're Googling it.
with radishes.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Yeah, I had my kid out there. We're all working. He was getting this experience of what it's like to work on a work crew, which was awesome.
Important experience.
Yeah. Your son came over, was helping move
Last night.
lots of logs. It's great.
Thank you for having him over.
Yeah, of course.
It's a good experience
like-
for him.
Yeah, you want to have like exposure to as much different types of work, as many cultures as you can.
And he told me on the way home, he said, and I mean, I really like Mr. Tim's kid.
Oh yeah, they were getting along really good.
And so it was fun hanging out with him.
Shepherd.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to say your son's name on the
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah.
air, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, Shep. That's my kid. He was like about your guy. I don't know if you want to say his name on
Let's
here.
not.
Okay. Frank.
Frank.
He was like Frank.
Kit.
Frank. He kept saying, "He's a good guy. He's a good guy." I was like, all right.
He was trying to show up for my
was
son
like,
in
yeah.
front of you, like, Dad, don't judge him too hard. He's
Yeah.
he's fine. He's
He's a
fine.
good kid.
I vouch.
I'm gonna vouch for
I
him.
vouch for this guy.
It's a papusa.
Yes.
Okay,
I,
papusa.
I was so close. Yeah,
Okay.
so
That is
far.
quite close.
So-
Very you were right there, Macy.
Is
So
that
close.
not a thing that you carry a baby around in?
I believe that is a very similar sounding word. Yes,
It's a
I feel
papoose.
like this
Papoose.
is becoming a word chain.
Yeah. You guys are confusing
Listen,
me.
I love words.
I love words.
Words and language are amazing. Okay.
I wonder. Just a little side note on that. I wonder if the term for the carrying the cradle, carrying the child, was actually a Spanish term applied to that thing
I would imagine there's some commonalities
From
in
an-
Latin, maybe.
from an outside context. Yeah.
Yeah. Papoose. Pouch.
I don't know if that was the Native American actual term. Maybe that was a Spanish term applied to that
Oh,
thing.
Because
interesting.
it is like a pouch of food.
A pouch to carry
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do
Pouches
some
are
more.
awesome.
We're gonna. The Fidelis team is gonna do some more digging on
We're
that.
gonna have
on
to
this,
research.
folks.
Definitely.
We'll do a 5-page report. It'll be great.
Yep. But
that is a different kind of segue into what I like to call the education segment.
the edumacation segment. Okay.
Edumacation segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Are y'all ready
I'm
for this?
excited.
Okay. I like to do a little bit of just, I'm always looking for value. I'm like, what causes somebody to want to actually watch this live stream, right? And
Yeah,
Tell
these
us in the
people are these
comments.
grinders
Why do you
out
love
here.
these grinders, they got to get on it.
Yeah, because they got stuff to grind on.
They do, and they need to do better at it. They need to be more effective. They need to be more efficient, educated, right? All right, so here's today's word of the day. The word that we're looking at least as it comes to your marketing, is the word attribution.
Oh,
Attribution. This is the holy grail of digital marketers.
indeed.
Yeah. Makes it a very difficult concept, okay? So we've referenced a lot on this show. We have referenced Ogilvy. He's kind of like the grandpapa of marketing. He wrote a lot of books. He talked quite frankly and eloquently, but in like a really funny kind of way, about all of the different things that you can do and experience and expect in marketing. And he was the one who talked so bigly about another cool word, about marketing works 50% of the time and you don't know which half of the time it's working, right? He kind of coined that thing. And that's true. Digital marketing specifically aims at knowing 100% of the time what is working and what isn't. Digital marketing is that thing that is supposed to drive effective, efficient marketing spends. And so digital marketers spend a lot of their time tracking maybe even an IP address. Where did it come from? What did they click? Was it a yellow button or was it the green button? And did it come through into our CRM well and accurately? And did somebody get a phone call to them inside of the 8-hour window? And did that 8-hour window come? You squinted at that. Was that too tight of a window?
No, my chair was squeaking,
okay.
and I was trying to be subtle about it.
The inside of that 8-hour window, do they get a brochure and an email sent out, and is all their information perfect? And then does it close into a sale? And that whole sales funnel. Last week we talked about the sales funnel. Does everything at the top funnel down into an actual sell? And can you attribute that sell straight to the marketing efforts? And that through line is the holy grail.
That chain of causation.
Yeah. And that's what attribution is. There's so many problems with that. There's so many problems with, was it the first time they ever thought about you? Was it the first time they ever heard your name? Did they see the billboard first before they clicked on the Google ad? There's it's still so vague. Now, most business people I know, super frustrated by how vague it is, which it is frustrating. But what do you do, as Mr. Rogers said, what do you do with that mad that you feel? What do you do with that frustration? You still have to market. You still have to get your product or service out there. Just because it's frustrating doesn't mean that you can just kind of quit. So here's what we try to do. We are part digital marketers. That is true. We are also pure. I don't know, pure is the right word. Simple. We are also direct, actual marketers. And so there are things that you're going to do as a marketing practice that are not going to attribute, and you still have to do them. So you still have to brand well. How are you going to ever attribute your brand to a sell? You're never going to get there. You still have to talk to your audience. This practice that we're doing right here, this might open up some relationship. I'm never going to attribute that relationship to this podcast or this live stream. That's never going to happen because this is just good, healthy, proactive activity.
Talk about that concept of signs of life that you use sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, I've totally stolen this from Chris, who works here. Chris loves talking about how no sign is a sign of no business. And this is that kind of concept predates digital marketing by a long shot. But if you didn't have a shingle, if you didn't have a storefront or a brick and mortar, some place to actually call your own, did you even have a business? Were
Yeah.
you even in it?
Yeah.
And that sign, it costs a little bit of money. You got to take a little risk. You got to pay the rent, you know? So this is attribution.
Is there any?
We have a hand raise from Christina.
I didn't want to cut in. I was just thinking about, as I've been reading Ogilvy on advertising, one of the books, the thing that I keep seeing over and over again when he's talking about different, specifically magazine ads that he's made, is the revenue going up over time, but his time frame is usually over a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, oh, and then the next month after the ad came out, they sold 100 cars. Like, he has a much longer span of measurement. And I know with digital, we've gotten used to being like, well, there's this many clicks and you can
Yeah.
trace it. But I think we have to remember, especially with things like brand work and other things that aren't as, attributable.
It is hard to say.
It takes a longer cycle to really understand, but revenue is correlated.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's the only thing that's showing your marketing is working or that there aren't other factors included in that, but it does show over time that revenue does increase.
Yeah, we've gotten really used to instant gratification. And I think business owners are also susceptible to that, where it's like okay, hey, it's been 3 weeks. Why love me? It's like, whoa. Some of the efforts we're doing, they're a little bit longer vision. I wouldn't even call 2 years long vision. I'd call that medium vision. I would say if you want to actually strategize and plan out your business and your marketing structures, we're talking about, EOS says 10 years. Go with the 3-year timeline. What are you actually looking at for the next 3 years? And do those kinds of things. That's brand-led marketing. That's another thing we believe in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any kind of discussion around this concept of attribution that kind of what you started out describing might be perfect attribution, and that's maybe an ideal.
Yeah.
It's an organizing principle, but then the reality is kind of degrees of imperfect attribution, and we're trying to
Right.
just refine those or arrive at better kinds of imperfect attribution.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of an uphill battle. You take steps. Okay, you have no attribution. You don't know anything that's working right now. Well, let's see if we can add a button. Do people work on that button? Can we add? Okay, that button worked. Can it work better in green than it does in yellow? Oh, well, look, we're going to A/B test it. So it's a small step, and so over time, 1,000 small steps equals miles. And so that's like a stick-with-itness, a diligence that marketers really need to be able to kind of embody is, okay, I'm not going to get discouraged when something doesn't work. We just learned more of what does work for you.
Is attribution a yeti? Is it a mythical kind of a mythical creature out there? Is it a waste of time to try to pursue it?
It's not a waste of time. I would say that it is a little bit unattainable, but also it's worth going for.
Okay.
Because the journey along the way, you're going to make more money. I mean, ultimately, that's what this comes down to, is you are going to get more customers, more sales, more invoices, task orders, work orders, whatever you sell. You're going to get more of it by doing these practices, by keeping it out there,
So that's your message to grinders this morning.
That's my message to the grinders. Keep going.
Keep hunting for that.
That's right.
Attribution.
Yeah.
Improved attribution.
Also, the Sasquatch, totally real.
Okay. Good.
That's my other message.
Okay.
Believe. All right.
Okay, good.
Let's go to something way more fun. Right. Let's go.
I thought that was a pretty fun segment.
Hey, all right.
So I'm excited to go to more fun from that.
If you can handle it.
I don't know.
We're going
If you
That
can
was-
name that theme song, I'll give you $1.
I can't believe they can't. Maybe it was our era.
I think this is something Nickelodeon level.
No.
All right, give me the answer.
Like an
'Cause
old man in glasses.
We
dancing
like to
around.
party.
is this Six Flags? The old man
Yeah,
Six Flags?
it's Six Flags.
I get
you
a dollar.
win $1.
Not from my pocket.
I'll find it somewhere. I'll find it.
This also
like, I
was a
can make
fantastic
each of them.
segue into Youngs versus Olds.
Here we go. Yeah, we need a jingle. We've discussed this.
And today I'm very excited because we have two olds.
I
2
mean,
against 2.
we have an old and
actually
an
might
older,
be-
actually,
An
today.
old and older.
We have a millennial and a Gen Xer.
How's the arthritis kicking up today?
Oh,
man?
it's
I think It's
terrible.
gonna rain later. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Should we make them agree on their answers so it's a
yeah,
collective?
I feel like you should
Or
agree on your answers.
Should I
Okay.
have like a phone open and we can do 2 of them?
This is where we go in
Oh,
blind.
let's do that. We'll do.
I don't know what's- I don't know what's about to happen.
Nor do I.
We're gonna take a quiz, and actually, with Thaddeus
back here.
being here, this might be.
So we have sourced a couple of funny little BuzzFeed quizzes today that we will be doing, but we're not going to tell you what the quiz
Hold
is.
on. BuzzFeed is a sophisticated
Feels he must break it down.
insect's home, and it's the drip line that you bring them pollen.
That's what a BuzzFeed
That's
is?
what BuzzFeed is, I believe.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Is it not?
No.
No,
It is. I
it
think
is
they're
not.
their own agency. BuzzFeed is a large agency in LA.
This is, I know, BuzzFeed is the news thing, right? And then the funny internet quizzes and I think the Try Guys started on BuzzFeed.
Yes, exactly. Look at you.
I know stuff. Shoot.
Okay. Go crazy.
Yeah, I thought they were a media company.
So,
So
do
let's-
you want to do TK? I'll do Thaddeus.
Yeah. Which one?
It's,
You know what I almost bought? the
What's
other
that?
day?
What's that?
There's a thing called a flow hive.
This one.
Have you
Great.
seen this?
No.
It's a beehive, but rather than take out the panels and disturb all the bees,
I feel like
you
we
turn
can
a thing
discuss.
and the panels split in half and all the honey drops out and you turn it back and the honeycombs are back in line.
Wow.
Super cool.
Do you know what my wife almost bought once?
what?
A Flowbee. Do you know what a Flowbee is?
The haircut
That's
thing?
the thing that allows you
Do
to
wait,
cut
do y'all
your
know
own
what the-
hair.
Do y'all know the Flowbee?
No.
That's
And
a
it
cool
has
thing.
it's a trimmer attached to a vacuum,
Super cool.
and you can trim your own hair in it, and there's virtually no hair left on the ground or on your person.
You know who is a big fan of a Flowbee? Still has one from the early 90s, late 80s, I guess. George Clooney. George Clooney's on record as saying he still Flowbees his hair.
Wow.
Speaking
I
of
remember
something-
when George Clooney made a splash because he had the Caesar cut when
Oh,
he was
yeah.
on ER. That's where he
Yeah.
got his start, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
now our Youngs versus Old segment. Is
Just
the
talking about
discussion
old.
of
And
floating.
George
you know
Clooney.
that his
What a
mom,
gentleman.
All right. All
you know,
right.
his
all right,
mom,
all right, all right,
Rosemary
all right.
Clooney.
Yeah. Yeah.
What movie is she famous for being in?
White
Opposite.
Christmas.
The
Bing Crosby?
the
White Christmas.
Christmas.
White Christmas. Yep.
What a
Speaking
dream.
of something that rhymes with Clooney,
Good.
our first question.
Clooney actually also is the name of a very important monastery system in France in the early Middle Ages that preserved a lot of Latin texts of important Christian manuscripts. The Cluny monasteries.
That I did not know. That's
CLUNY.
cool. CLU. Okay. I believe it.
All right. So
Cluniac system.
we're gonna have to do some spelling for these for you to distinguish them since you can't see it. But the first question is, what is the name of the series Bugs Bunny is from? Now, the trick is not the name, it's the spelling. Is it Looney Tunes like TUNES or Looney Tunes like TOONS?
The first one. TUNES.
Daddies, what do you think?
Because it was about music.
Don't convince
Don't.
him.
Yeah, let him make his own choices.
I love Looney Tunes.
Sure.
So I think it was TUNES.
Are you locking in that answer?
I am locking in that answer.
All right. I'm going to go with that one for both of you.
You got it right.
You got it.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
You know what else is great about George Clooney?
Oh my gosh.
hit me.
He's
There is a
looming.
black and white photo of him on a cafe racer motorcycle wearing a gray T-shirt.
Is that odd for George?
No, that's fantastic because what it highlights is the gray T-shirt for male fashion. It's fantastic. Very versatile.
And he did that for America.
He did
Thanks,
that for
George.
men across the world.
All right.
Wow.
You want to
What?
read
Yeah.
the next one?
What was Darth
George Clooney.
Vader's iconic line to Luke Skywalker in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back? Was it, Luke, I am your father? Or was it, no, I am your father?
I know the answer. Do you want
Okay.
me to
Maybe
say?
let Thaddeus choose his first. Then.
Are you a big Star Wars guy?
I am. I am.
Sure.
I
not-
think
not a
it's.
Star
I think
Wars
it
guy.
actually is. No, I am your father.
Right. That's correct.
All right.
No.
You got it
I'm
right.
your father. Yeah.
Good job.
I am your father.
So this is, what is this called? There's something, this isn't the Mandela effect. This is like something else. Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. These
You
are
knew
all
that because
common
yesterday
things that
We
the
may
world
have
gets
said
wrong.
it while you were in the
We
room
may
while
have
we
said
were researching.
Or I
All right.
just know
Or he's
stuff.
just a genius. Sorry.
All right. Is it Cheez-Its with a Z or Cheez-It? Not plural.
Oh, that's a good one.
We have
guys
these
should know
in
this.
our very own vending machine here.
We eat
You want a
tons of
hot
them.
take?
I think it's Cheez It
Hot take? I hate this snack. I said it.
with a Z. I think it's
Yeah.
Cheez It with a Z.
There, yeah.
Wait, no. The Z would be at the end. So it's either Cheez-It or Cheez-It.
Okay, I think it's Cheez It.
Okay.
With a Z.
Yeah.
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 The cheese has a Z.
both
Cheese
have-
has a Z.
both cheeses
Not
have
plural.
Z's.
Oh,
So
not plural. No,
Not
It's
plural.
either plural or not plural.
I think it's singular.
Cheese-et
Cheez
Okay.
It.
with an E.
okay. So not plural for both of you.
Not
Final
plural.
answer. You get it!
All right.
Y'all are doing much better than we were.
Yeah. I did not.
Because it's interesting. Cheez It singular sort of sounds like choose it. Choose this thing. Pick this thing.
Psychology.
What's your favorite George Clooney movie?
Wow. Okay. Favorite George Clooney movie? Probably the Ocean 11, 12,
Oh,
13
yeah.
series, I would
That's
say.
the Caesar cut.
That's great.
I think he still had the Caesar cut in the first one for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies,
Go ahead.
in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, how does the queen speak to the mirror on the wall? Does she say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," or does she say, "Magic mirror on the wall"?
I think we're on to your ruse by this point. It's definitely magic mirror on the wall.
I think this is a case where the line from the movie actually entered into popular culture correctly, so I'm going to say mirror, mirror on the wall.
All right. Oops. I'm using the wrong mouse. Okay. Thaddeus, you got it wrong.
It's okay.
There's no consequences to this game
I mean,
So far.
so far.
yeah.
All right.
I think "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" has to be.
Didn't
Up
see
there.
it, so I couldn't choose that.
You've never seen this?
No, I did not. No, I have not.
We have
Just
to
can't
do
keep
a
them.
movie night.
Space in between.
It is the Odyssey, correct?
Yeah.
It's the retelling of the Odyssey.
It's so good. It's so good.
The music won a lot of awards as well. It's
It
very
did.
good.
I'm a Dap Dan man.
Yeah. So this is not. I couldn't think of a segue.
You just gotta. You just gotta push.
So is it Fruit Loops or Fruit Loops? And that's FROOT or FRUIT?
FRUIT.
Final
Mine.
answer for you, right?
I think it's double O.
I haven't had Fruit Loops in a long, long, long time, though.
I could go for some right now, but I think it's the double
O
O
for TK and traditional spelling for
because it would alliterate to the fruit and the loop. Ooh, ooh.
Okay.
You are correct.
It's the
TK
double
is
O?
correct.
Yeah, it's double O because on the box, the double O's are the actual Fruit Loops and fruit.
So if you do
Design play.
double O in both words, that's a chance to show 4 Fruit Loops as opposed to
Which
only.
I think there
Four
are
whole
4
different
flavors.
colors.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right.
Unless
what is
you
the,
count, they came out with some special stuff.
Well, yeah, of course they did.
Seasonals.
What is
so
the
to speak.
iconic and correct movie line from Frankenstein? He's alive! Or, it's alive!
It's alive.
Yeah, it's got to be It's.
Good job.
Good job.
You both got it.
Because Dr. Frankenstein depersonalizes himself from his creation.
Yes.
Right. You
The
made it a thing.
the best telling of the Frankenstein story on film is the comedic version. Is it
so good?
Is it Bride of Frankenstein?
The one with the Willy Wonka actor.
The
What's-
famous original Willy Wonka
Yeah.
actor whose name is
Gene
escaping me
Wilder?
right now.
Yeah,
Gene Wilder, yes.
Oh,
That is
so
it's a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
Young
It
Frankenstein,
is
I think.
so
the tap
so
dancing
good.
section where he's like, I just love it.
The guy who plays his assistant is just so
Brilliant.
good.
Yeah.
All right,
Bor-
so to
Boris.
break from that, is it Kit Kat with a dash between the two words, or is it Kit Kat with no dash but a space?
It's a dash, I want to say.
I'm imagining the packaging, and I think
And the
there's no
dash is the actual Kit Kat stick.
oh, and it would break in half. Oh, that's a good argument. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, with the dash.
No dash.
Oh,
No dash.
I'm sorry.
I looked at this
uh-oh.
You led me down.
I
The
really love the
that
idea
look
of
is making me
having
think there might be
before I can ask the
consequences to
dash.
this
I
show
think
now.
the part of the T, I think, really tricks us into thinking that it's a dash.
And look, there is the bar down at the bottom.
You
yeah,
went completely off. Just
That's
So I
good
moved
one.
it.
That's a good one.
I moved
Yeah.
it in my mind. My mind's eye moved it
Man,
into
I was
the dash position.
I was batting 1,000 right there.
Kit Kat.
All right.
No space.
I think
No, there's not even a space.
This is the last one.
I'm glad that wasn't the last one.
Which
I
is the way the world ends, according to The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot. Not with a bang, but a whimper, or not with a bang, but thunderous applause. I didn't know this one.
I didn't either.
Thunderous applause.
Okay.
It's talking. I think it's talking about the foolishness of man / mankind, and how we celebrate our own doom, our own demise. That's my guess.
Just to make it interesting,
is
I'm going to say
by
not with a
guess.
bang, but with a whimper.
Okay.
All right. Thaddeus is correct.
There's actually
Totally
more.
redeemed
Oh.
himself.
I think they come up.
And
no.
this is T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland,
That was The Hollow Men.
The Holloman.
What is the root of all evil according to the popularity quoted verse? The love of money is the root of all evil, or money is the root of all
The
evil.
love of money.
The love.
Come on.
Both.
Yeah, the love of money.
Ding ding ding
Woo!
ding ding.
Money is just little green pieces of paper.
It's fuel, according to
Gasoline.
which
Yeah. There's a.
We have a lot of
Have you
this
ever
morning.
read read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I have not, but it was a popular book amongst my high school classmates.
There's a line in there about money and how it's little green pieces of paper that don't care.
And the answer to life is 42. So, back to the stars.
Everything.
Back to the stars. Which line did Captain Kirk actually say? Beam me up, Scotty, or Scotty, beam us up fast?
He always uttered the same line in every in Star Trek.
I don't think. I mean the frequency of that line. He had to say it just out of boredom, he had to have said it hundreds of different ways.
You would think.
So I think it's
I'm gonna kind of use your tactic here and say the popular rendition is "Beam me up, Scotty." So the actual rendition must be "Scotty, beam me up fast" or "Beam us up fast."
Okay.
I think probably B.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Y'all
got it.
actually both scored close to each other and have the same gif of Joey from Friends congratulating you. So, Thaddeus, you were 7 out of 10, and TK, you were 8 out of 10.
Congrats.
I'm very proud
That's
of y'all.
awesome.
I had 3
I don't
out
think
of 10.
George Clooney was ever on Friends.
No.
Nope.
Brad
The
Pitt.
younger guy, his mind is still a little bit sharper than the older gentleman, so he got 8 out of 10. I'm lagging behind, 7 out of 10.
I'm a little bit closer, I think, to BuzzFeed
You
in
passed the
demographic.
super tricky
Yeah.
Mandela effect quiz. Bum-ba-da-da.
Man, I'm gonna go.
That's
I'm gonna
all,
go
folks.
watch The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
How about maybe next week a deep dive into like a deep dive George Clooney quiz?
That
You might
sounds
enjoy that.
Right up y'all's alley.
I think I could dominate at that.
I think you could.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna call it. That's time. Thank you, all you grinders. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Y'all have a
Meat
good-
grinders unite.